Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome back to Coito Ergo Sum, Let's Talk More Action, a series which wishes it was on the East Coast so it could celebrate St. Patrick's Day with Colin Moriarty and Kate. Having had some time to process my grief over getting Veronica killed, I reached a couple conclusions. First, obviously, I'm an idiot. Go back through this series and count how many times I said, I'd better not do such and such because companions can die permanently in hardcore mode. I should have sent her home immediately after I saw the legionaries near Nelson were hostile. There was no way I could have seen the ambush coming, but I shouldn't even have taken her to Cottonwood Cove. Which brings me to the second point. I still have no idea what was up with that, but my best guess it was a perfect storm kind of event. The Fallout Wiki confirmed what I thought. The attack on Ranger Station Charlie happens entirely off-screen when you talk to Ranger Andy. But there is a random encounter with the Legion that can happen if you approach from the east, which I did. But it's a small group, so that can't have been all there was to it. Now, I came up from Cottonwood Cove, got around the cliffs, and headed northwest toward Hidden Valley from the general vicinity of Searchlight, which, although I didn't notice at the time, may have taken me dangerously close to the Legion raid camp. So if they noticed me and headed north to intercept, they would have caught up with me right about where we got ambushed, which would also explain how we got flanked. But even those two groups combined wouldn't be as many as there were. So I'm back to the very first thought that went through my head, which is the group from Nipton. It seems like they should have already gotten back to Cottonwood Cove, or despawned by now, and they don't usually go that far north, but they don't take the road, they do travel over land, and if they got drawn off course attacking an NCR patrol or some random creature, got within sight of the raid camp and noticed those guys were in pursuit, they might have followed to provide backup, and those three groups combined would be about the right number. I don't know. I mean, that seems pretty far-fetched, but I checked the footage and I looted at least 10 bodies. There were probably a few more I didn't find because the battle covered a pretty wide area, which is way more than you ever see in one place. So it had to be multiple groups that converged, and they were widely varying in experience, from recruit to veteran decanus, and random encounters are generally key to your level, which would seem to imply the weaker ones had been hanging around since I was much lower level, which would also make sense if they were the ones from Nipton. Obviously, I'll never know for sure, but the bottom line is, I need to be even more careful with companions than I thought, because apparently it isn't just the well-known hazards I need to avoid. You can get into serious trouble even in areas that are generally pretty safe. Want to do some more sightseeing?
That would be great. Let's go.
That doesn't mean I'm going to make everybody stay cooped up at home. It does mean I'm going to carry extra water and fast travel a lot more. And since I can't use the studio while Fresca's working on a movie, and I'm going to be shooting models all over the Mojave, it seems like a perfect time to give her the guided tour, which eventually unlocks more of her dialogue. And let's check the finances while we're passing through. Oh yes, that's what I want to see. Only 6 posters left for customers yesterday. We lost over 500 caps, share price is down to 52. Another week of that, and it'll be time for Hilly to retire. And while St. Patrick's Day is Friday in real life...
Hey, sweetie.
Angie? I noticed when I had the Pip-Boy map up that the game date is December 31st, so we'll definitely have a party later. And by the way, I finally remembered to get Fresca some glasses. I still like the Clark Kent of erotica concept. You know, dresses like a mild-mannered housewife, but secretly super porn star. But there's some clipping, which I don't think it's with her face. I think it's with her hair, so I'll probably take them back, but we'll see. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, Fresca should remember the airport, and I can recruit more NCR personnel as models.
Feels like I just flew in the other day. I wonder if they ever found my luggage.
Oh, good to see you again.
I have some questions.
Of course. Anything.
Now that Keeley is safe, I thought we could talk about Lolipopz magazine.
Oh, I might be able to help you.
If you can get away for a few hours, you could come to the studio and pose for me. Sound good?
It sure does.
I briefly thought I was locked out of NCR models because I failed Don't Tread on the Bear. I'm not, and I probably won't ever piss off the NCR as bad as I pissed off the Legion, but working with Yes Man might damage my NCR reputation a little bit, which would make the speech challenges for NCR faction members harder, or in some cases maybe impossible. I'm not sure if Angela requires you to have good NCR rep or not, but she does require you to do Hildern's mission and save Keeley while you're there, both of which I did ages ago, so no worries there. I totally forgot my profit from the movie is in my safe. Oh yeah, 7,900 caps, which unlike brothel and magazine revenue, I don't have to split with Hilly. I guess JT gives Fresca her cut separately, and we get a complimentary copy of the movie, which doesn't do anything, but you can display it as a trophy. Total salary for the cast was $2,100. The first batch of blank holotapes were free loot. You rock, my friend. Even considering the ammo and stim packs it took to complete the quests that got me to this point, you're still talking a 5,000 cap profit. Well, there's Lady Jane. Not why I'm here, but...
Hello there.
Hello, Jane. What are you doing here?
I'm going back to California to start over, but I had some problem with NCR.
The road's closed, so you might be here a while. Do you have any traveling money?
I have a few cartons of cigarettes and some sensor modules, but I haven't got a cap to my name.
I might be able to chip in 50 caps. Are those implants?
I assure you they are very real and very large.
All right, then. Pose for Lolipopz magazine. It's not like you're going anywhere.
Okay, let's have some fun.
In the vanilla game, she disappears after you collect her debt for the Garretts. With Coito, you can convince her to pose while you're doing that, either by being generous or coercive, but apparently it also adds her back for people who did the debt collector quest before they installed the mod, which is fortunate because I did. Very real and very large. I wonder if there are any other characters it does that for. It would be very cool if it did it for Major Kieran or Private Gilbert. Like, after you resolve the conflict with the Kings, Kieran gets reassigned to another refugee camp or gets a desk job at HQ. Fresca. Gilbert, there's no permanent garrison in Boulder City, so she was presumably stationed at the dam or maybe Camp Golf. Somehow Lady Jane beat me back here. Anyway, as you might guess from the fact that everybody at the Mojave outpost is either NCR military, NCR citizens, or traveling to or from California, they're all either NCR faction members or at least sympathetic to the NCR. Hello. So, like, your NCR reputation probably influences how hard it is to convince them to pose. In general, recruiting members of any faction can range from automatic success, speech challenges from very easy to very hard, or automatic failure, depending on your reputation. Or if it's really bad, shoot on sight. But I'm not sure about Lady Jane, but Lacey and Ranger Ghost definitely work that way. Although Ranger Ghost also requires you to scout Nipton and get clearance from the brass. Anyway, the real reason I came here in the first place was to deliver an invitation to the New Year's party. But it was still early in the day, so I figured I had time for a distraction. It's afternoon now, so we need to get this show on the road.
You come around like a bad habit. What's on your mind?
What are you going to do now that you sold the caravan?
That's the question I've been asking myself. No idea. Maybe head back west? Though the idea of heading back there with my tail between my legs isn't appealing.
I hear that. Look, the reason I'm here is I'm throwing a New Year's bash at Lolipopz. You should totally come.
Go with you? And why the hell would I do that?
Because this place is dead. We've got all the booze you can drink and live entertainment. And if you're feeling frisky, we have hosts and hostesses to suit just about any taste.
The outpost lost its charm about 3 bottles ago. And that was just this morning. Walking the Mojave with you can't be any worse than here, that's for sure. All right, I'm in.
Cool. Whoa, nice dismount.
Glad I left the outpost behind.
Most sober people couldn't get off a bar stool that quick.
They got to President Kimball. How long can we hold out?
Forever? That was one lucky shot. I heard the people who killed Kaiser took out the whole Legion fort. And by people, I mean me, my girlfriend, and a couple of androids. And by heard, I mean did it. A toast to absent friends. Where's Cass? There she is. Oh, she's got her eye on Doug. You receive an urgent message on your Pip-Boy. Leah's water has broken. You're needed at Lolipopz to deliver the baby. Nice timing, Leah. Well, at least it wasn't a few hours later, or I'd have been too drunk to deliver a baby. I have to tell you, taste buds? I have to go deliver a baby. Have fun.
Hello.
Hello. Could have told them to wait, but Kikata doesn't drink and Fresca's used to pre-war extravaganzas, so I guess the party isn't that interesting to them.
I'm glad you're here. It's time.
Just relax. Whoa. I guess contractions can make you jump, but relax and breathe.
Okay, right. Oh, hey, I don't mean to be, rude, but Minuet and I need to get rest. Come back in a day or two, and I'll be up and happy to chat.
Okay. Stuck in the bed. And anyway, over here we have the baby I just delivered. State-of-the-art child care accessory incorporates medical monitors, a nutrient dispenser, waste removal canisters, a holographic edutainment system, and a gyro-stabilized rocking mechanism. It provides everything a baby needs without a lot of messy human interaction. It is currently occupied by a healthy baby girl named Minuet. And there's the circle of life. Veronica was taken from this world, and Minuet was brought into it. Kikata, shotgun is a bold choice of accessory for an evening gown, but I dig it. Now, where did Leah go? Oh, she probably doesn't want to sleep in that bed. I'll get Debbie to take care of that. Cass, you already finished with Doug? Is this a party or what? Guys, come on, let's let her get some sleep.
Hey.
Hey, Debbie. Leah just had her baby, so you know what? You can take care of that later. Have fun with your customer. Hey, I'm sorry we missed the ball drop.
Oh, you look tense. Why don't you let me buy you a drink and tell me all about it? Hello?
Rondo? I could be wrong, but considering how that dude's checking out Fiona, I'm pretty sure he's straight. Anyway, we missed midnight, but so what?
I'd like to fuck that little ass.
I already explained it. If we run over, you just pay for extra time, and then we can keep going.
Yeah, I've done some pretty stupid things recently, but trying to have a romantic moment in a brothel is probably
Hi.
top of the list. Happy New Year, baby.
Well, now that I'm free of the outpost, was wondering if you'd mind making a detour. I'd like to pay my respects to the end of Cassidy Caravans. Check out the site where they died.
Cass, it's New Year's Eve. We already drank a toast to absent friends, and now we're gonna have fun. Tomorrow, New Year's Day, that's a perfect time for new beginnings. We will definitely go by and pay our respects, but right now, drinks are on me. And speaking of fun, I know brothels are a dime a dozen, but A, this party's already been 10 times better than anything going on at the Mojave Outpost, and the night's still young. And B, there's more to this brothel than meets the eye. For example, we have a studio and print shop for Lolipopz magazine in the basement. What do you think about that?
If someone offered you caps to show your ass, would you take it?
I run a porno magazine. Take a wild guess.
Right. I wasn't thinking.
Coming from you, that's practically a 5-star review. So you want to be in it?
You mean like naked? Why the hell would I do that?
Lolipopz magazine was last published 200 years ago, and people everywhere still know who Fresca Koi was. Oh, sorry, bad example, she's right over there. They still know who Lana Elsker was. You pose, it's a signpost that tells the future. Rose of Sharon Cassidy was loved by many. She mattered.
That's too stupid for words. But sweet.
Am I imagining things, or did I hear a yes in there someplace?
All right, let's do it, before I change my mind.
Okay, so technically I haven't actually published any new issues yet, but as soon as Hilly's out of the picture, I'm going to. And they're going to be huge, trust me.
Better be rock salt in that, or you're asking for an ass kicking.
That's kind of weird. The camera is technically a weapon in terms of the game mechanics, and NPCs do occasionally say stuff like that if you target them with iron sights, but I've done dozens of photo shoots, and I've never had anybody react that way to the camera. Anyway, the real story here is Cass without her hat! Most characters with hats, a photo shoot's pretty exciting, but not the only way to see their hair. Sometimes reverse pickpocketing works, or if you're a sociopath, you can kill them and take it. But Cass is frustrating because she has a special companion outfit that you can't even see in her inventory menu. If you give her something with better stats, she'll wear it instead, but if you take it back, she'll just revert to her default items. Oh, she's drinking more whiskey. This is gonna get crazy.
Don't like no one drawing a bead on me.
I know, but just carry on and try to forget I'm here. Yep, just like that. Already forgotten. Holy crap, guys. Best New Year's ever. No, this is that weird thing where models walk to the elevator and then teleport back to wherever you recruited them, but for companions and temporary followers, it's kind of redundant.
Hey there, prickly pear.
Yeah, you call me that all the time. What's up with that?
The outside's tough, but it's worth the effort to get past that because the inside is pretty sweet.
That's cute. Anyway, I know you're not into ethanol, and the party's kind of winding down at this point anyway. Can you find your way home?
I appreciate your confidence in my direction sense. I wish I shared it.
Oh, man. I am the worst date ever. That's a dick move even in the best of circumstances, but she'd either have to go down in the tunnel alone, which people from the valley hate, or climb over the rock slide in her party dress. Sorry, I'll take you home.
You're teasing me, aren't you?
Check this shit out, Cass. Bullet train. If this baby doesn't get a yee-haw out of you, nothing will. Good Lord. It's full daylight out. That was a freaking party. My neighbors are all up and already at work, and I haven't even been to bed yet. In fact, it looks like Ash was just sitting down to eat lunch.
Wanna sit and watch the fire for a bit?
Ooh, that's tempting. But we have company, and it's a lot later than I thought it was, so I'm not even sure that was a good idea.
Oh, never mind. No rest for the weary, I guess.
In fact...
What do we have here?
I figured you're ready to get out of that dress and back into something comfortable. Actually, I'm going to go pass out. You can hang out with these guys, show them the garden, whatever.
Home sweet home.
I hate bringing the party to my place and then crashing, but... Actually, Fresca's a lesbian, and I've heard speculation that Cass is bi, based on some of her dialogue if you're a female courier with the Cherchez la femme perk. And they're both notorious partiers, so guest bedroom's over there if you guys need it. There's booze in the fridge either way. Now, sleep. I am appropriately dehydrated. I need some water and an aspirin, or 5. We'll grab some maize from the garden on the way out, and then go visit the Cassidy caravan.
We should check the wagon. They may not have got everything. Whatever we find, it's yours. Least I can do for hoofing it all this way with me.
Doesn't look like there's much left.
You know what? What happened in my caravan? Not the first time I've heard about an attack like that. One of our caravans got hit a few months back, and the caravan been burned too, along with the cargo. I wonder if he made the same mistake, and that other caravan got hit with energy weapons too.
Cass, I invited you to Lolipopz last night because I know you love a good party, and it was a great party, and I was happy to do this today because I've had some stuff happen recently that I understand the need for closure, but I didn't really mean that we were going to hang out and stuff. Know what I mean?
If you're sure, your loss.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, actually, you said you're sick of the Mojave outpost. You could go hang at the Lucky 38. Doubt Raoul and Eddie are going to hit on you.
All right. Don't be long. Robots there give me the creeps.
Go on. You'll love Eddie. And I control the Securitrons now. All right. Where to next? Someplace safe that you'll find interesting or nostalgic, and preferably has people who want to be models. All right. I know 2 places that fit the bill, and along with Cass, we'll make a caravan theme issue.
I know we burned all the fossil fuels. Yes, you're welcome. But the only way to get to California now is on foot. That fucking blows.
Hey, Alice.
Those Legion Elite troops are bad blood.
Tell me about it.
Welcome back.
I'm in the publishing business. Interested in a mutually beneficial business proposal?
Certainly.
Pose for Lolipopz magazine. You get free publicity. I get a celebrity on the cover.
Not what I was hoping for.
I'm surprised you'd let old-fashioned propriety stand in the way of profit.
Being sentimental is not how I made the Crimson Caravan successful. Very well.
If you can clear your schedule for a few hours, we can head back to the studio now.
Yes, it works for me.
I explained how movie sales are calculated back when we were recruiting actors, back in episode 21 maybe, and the same attributes factor into magazine sales as well. I'll get into this in more detail when we set the layout for the first issue, but basically every model has scores for appearance, appeal, and attitude, and each magazine has 3 sections: an opening pictorial, the cover girl and presumably centerfold, and a closer. An issue will sell better if each section features a model with a high score in the appropriate attribute. The cover should have a model with high appeal, somebody famous or exotic to grab the customer's attention on the shelf. We'll obviously be using Alice for that. Although, for a woman of advancing years, Alice really seems to keep herself in shape. The closer should have a high attitude bonus, and we'll be using Cass for that because she gets pretty raunchy when she's drunk, which means we just need a model with a high appearance bonus for the opener.
I'm not sure this obsession with weapons is healthy. Of course, these days, not being obsessed with weapons might be even less healthy.
True. Well, this is cool. I haven't been back to Nellis since the bomber got here. In fact, some people may never have seen this because after you float it to the surface of the lake, if you come back here immediately to turn in the quest, they haven't had time to move it yet. And once you've turned in the quest, there's not a whole lot of reason to come back, or, if you do, not much reason to visit the hangar. Well, other than seeing this, but there's no quest objective or anything. It just has to occur to you to think, hey, wonder if they ever finished that bomber. Can't resist playing on stuff like this.
I'm happy that we managed to raise the bomber in my lifetime.
So am I. Anyway, you've probably guessed that I'm here to recruit Janet, who still qualifies for the caravan theme bonus, even though I got her out of her contract so she could come here and be with Jack. And I might not have explained the thing about theme issues. Short version, if all the models in a single issue are from the same hometown or in the same profession, it boosts sales. But it just occurred to me that I probably shouldn't talk to her right now because she teleports to the studio. But Raquel does an on-site photo shoot, so if I talk to Raquel first, it'll save me a trip. Guess it's a little too early for her to be on duty. So she'll be in the women's barracks.
Hello, friend.
This isn't as cool as a bomber, but I have a functional printing press. I publish a magazine.
Right.
Well, I haven't actually published an issue yet. I'm still just recruiting models at this point.
You're a terrible liar. Mind your behavior.
I'm serious. People who are in on something like this from the start get the best opportunities.
I'll give you this. You've got a lot of guts.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. A philosophy I'm sure you appreciate. So will you pose for me?
All right.
I don't know, everybody says these people are strange. From where I'm standing, you all seem kind of paranoid and territorial.
Yeah, I like these guys. Probably should have waited for her to go on duty. The spotter platform would have made a much more dramatic setting than the barracks. Oh well.
Thank you for getting me here. Jack is a great guy.
Considering your mutual voyeur fetish, do you think he'd like to see you in Lolipopz magazine?
Yeah, we watch all sorts of things.
Oh, really? Well, I'm the publisher, you see. I could make it happen for real.
You know, it's expensive to strip these days.
It pays 50 caps.
Done.
Janet, by the way, is voiced by Courtney Taylor, who you may know better as the female protagonist of Fallout 4. But I won't hold that against her. I mean, it would have ruined the game no matter who voiced it. Now, ruined is a strong word. It's an all-right shooter. It's just not a real RPG. Shameless plug, if you want to see my attempt at making it one, check out my Fallout 4 RPG series. Belthan can put a link in the description. Fresca. Go on, hop on the video camera. Janet thought that was funny. Anyway, about the Caravan theme issue, McLafferty's a top-tier cover girl, Cass is a top-tier closer, and Janet's a top-tier opener, so that issue should do really well. Fresca made a comment at McCarran, the Crimson Caravan, and a couple at Nellis, so she should have some new relationship dialogue unlocked. With a male character, it's just a platonic friendship. You can only romance her if you're female, but either way, you can find out how she's holding up, fill in some blanks about the Lolipopz backstory and her life before the war in general.
Hey, it's the hottest producer in Vegas. What's happening?
How are you doing? Adapting to the 23rd century?
On the whole, I'm okay. I can't get a decent cup of coffee, which sucks, and the insects the size of people are pretty fucking creepy. On the upside, though, there will be picket lines at my movies, and an insect the size of a person isn't likely to be in my shoe when I put it on.
I expected you to find the destruction very depressing.
Maybe it's different where the nukes actually hit, but this isn't as bad as I expected. We had resource wars that had been going on since I was a kid. There was rioting everywhere. Parts of LA looked worse than Vegas looks now. It almost feels like I fast-forwarded through the scary parts and skipped right to the happy ending.
Can we talk about the 21st century?
Yeah, that would be great.
If you sobered up after ladies' night, when did you fall off the wagon?
I was never really on it. I just needed to get my shit together enough to take control of my career. A star like Dee could have kept going until she was 60. I was typecast. Co-eds and rookies and the girl next door. I knew my days of doing that were numbered.
Mo said some really unflattering things about you on some tapes I found.
He said really unflattering things to my face. That's just how he was. He didn't really mean it.
Oh, I didn't have the medicine skill for this in the old walkthrough. My diagnosis, he was a narcissist and you were codependent.
I admit I had a bad case of hero worship in the early days. He was a genius, but by the time we did Ladies' Night, I knew I wanted to direct. He wouldn't listen to any of my suggestions, so I hit the bottle even harder than usual. He had every right to be pissed.
At least you ended up outselling him in the end.
I owe a lot of that to him. He knew his market cold. I eventually realized my ideas for Ladies' Night would have hurt the movie. By the time I made Double Trouble, I knew how to get the audience I wanted, plus a 45% crossover from his. With Vault Boy, it was closer to 80%, but he never abandoned his core fans, and I still admire him for that.
How did you find out Sasha was underage when she made the lineup?
She wasn't. There was no way Stoney would let Mo get away with that. He started the rumor and then doctored her immigration papers to make it look like they were covering something up. Then Sasha became a star and he won a pervy, so they milked it for all it was worth.
Then why did you think you could use that to get her out of her contract?
She could have still been deported because her paperwork was funky. It was just leverage in case Mo ever gave her any shit about working for me. I didn't want her to get in any trouble, but on any given day, nobody knew who was at war with who over there, so the chances of that were pretty slim. And she wasn't interested anyway, so no harm, no foul.
I take it Larry Slater didn't know about the scam?
I don't think they ever told him. He probably would have approved. He always loved to shock people. But he was the face of the company, so Stoney tried to keep him away from anything shady enough to get him in real trouble.
Enough about Sasha.
Yeah, she was a real cutie, though.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to call it a day. And next week, we can show Fresca some more stuff while we recruit more models. And maybe finally get the share price low enough to buy out Hilly and become sole proprietor of Lolipopz. See you then.